Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Messiah. If you remember last time, we left Club KYD, and for some reason I've entered a bird sanctuary? Not entirely. We're actually going to get a rather nice update here from Satan, who informs us that somehow or another we figured out that the club elevator took us to the military zone? I guess that is easy access for the military to go get prostitutes? Who knows? Either way, we're pretty much going to have to get rid of this commander body pretty much immediately.
What are you doing? Somebody help!
But even for my crippled body, you have to go with protocol and salute it. But not offer assistance, so how rude. But yeah, as far as I know, there is really no way to take the commander body down here, but there's really no need for it. I mean, well, there's really no need for any military body, because in this next coming up room, well, we're going to get a little bit of a fun excuse to do some damage. First though, we're going to call down this lift. Cause a commander to come sauntering out, which allows us to hop into her body and then access, well, this is a gun control outpost. And as opposed to the sentry turret we used before, this is a full-on fuck-off cannon. Now, it may not seem like it's doing a lot of damage, but it actually is. It's just the thing is that those are heavy cops down there, and what the fuck is firing at us? Oh, it's another cannon. As far as I know, you cannot destroy that other cannon, and, well, you can kinda dodge it, depending on how you're pointed, but we don't really need to dodge it at this point. Because we just killed pretty much everybody. And oddly enough, that other cannon, even though they do know I was firing it, will never actually fire on me, so kudos to programming, I guess. And you may recognize that over there, that's actually where we hopped the truck and fell into the red light district. It's, I guess, continuity that we're going around in a big circle. But let's go ahead and head off into the next area. We'll actually be revisiting that plaza in a little bit. For right now though, we don't need her anymore. What we do need though is to use our expert control abilities to hop into a rat. Really can't get enough of this, hopping into rats. It's such a precision ability that you hone after playing this game for so long. It just becomes second nature, really. Yep. Not difficult or annoying in the least. I am the Rat Master! Alright. So, there are quite a few vents to go around in, but we actually only need to take a very short trip through them. And you may think we need to get into that scientist over there, but instead, after we get out here, we get picked up by that bird we saw before, who for some reason is on patrol between the same two routes of the stage over and over and over again. Not exactly sure why, but it is to our advantage, so I can only assume it's part of God's ultimate plan for us. But after being dropped off, we find ourselves pretty much back at the start of the military zone, but with one key difference. And that's actually what's going to be present in this room. First though, I want to clear out all these annoying cops waiting for us. Oh, he's still alive somehow. Yeah, the combat in this game is really amazing, but yeah, yeah, those look like armored behemoths down there. And by pulling one of these switches, we actually free one of them.
Holy cow!
And as opposed to our first meeting with the armored behemoth, we can actually now possess one of them. So let's go ahead and drop this weapon off so that he doesn't proceed to start shooting us, and then hop into that armored behemoth. Jesus, that's an amazing sound. Yeah, the armored behemoth is pretty much the end-all be-all when it comes to combat. It can only be hurt by either another armored behemoth or a maser rifle. Otherwise, it just stomps. It's basically like a behemoth, but you can't really kill it. And thankfully, it actually gets a lot more use than our previous behemoth, who was mostly used to weigh down a pressure plate. Yeah, this one actually gets to deal with some combat. And it may be a bit hard to see there, but that cop in the center actually does have a maser rifle. And if that hits you, that will pretty much one-shot the armored behemoth you're in. And I'm not actually sure what that thing is in the center of the plaza now, but we actually will never know. It kind of just takes off without an explanation. Maybe it dropped off those cops we just killed, or maybe not, who knows. But you do want to immediately take a step back, because there is a cop way over there in the distance with a maser rifle ready to fire on us. It's pretty hard to dodge though. But yeah, even if this particular armored behemoth gets killed, we still have another two we can go pick up. But you do kind of have to be rather careful. I mean, we can take down these cops pretty quickly, but yet again, and oh yeah, Father Prime. Whenever you usurp a dictator, you have to take down all icons of him. Also, I don't know why they drop off this one cop. It's just so pathetic. But yeah, we still have to weigh down a pressure plate, because that's, you know, a good use of this huge walking fuck-off tank. But yeah, this room can actually be a bit difficult, mostly due to the combination of a maser rifle and another assault behemoth, or armored behemoth. But as long as you take down the armored behemoth, it's not too difficult to take care of, and you just want to quickly rush into this last room here. Otherwise, that cop will never chase after us, and by hopping into a scientist, we can now operate this control pad here and turn on the telepod.
Holy cow!
Which, after we learned from the beginning, Satan is apparently on the moon, and this allows us easy access to the moon. Immediately upon entering the cryo holding cells, Satan hits us up yet again. He is ready for a fight, calling us Chicken Boy. And we can't stand for that for some apparent reason. So we had to get through the cryostasis area and then head to the final area. Now, oddly enough, the cryo area has no real combat or anything like that. It's just reading audio logs, really, which is a bit weird. I mean, this is the second to last area of the game, and there's no real puzzle. It's just, you know, reading audio, or actually, reading audio. No, we're going to be reading text logs. Actually not sure why that first one didn't work, but basically, to sum up what happened, they overfed Satan with blood, and he somehow broke free of his holding cryo pen thing. And yeah, he went on a rampage and killed all the scientists, along with probably unthawing people and then feeding on them. And some of the scientists were able to get away from him initially, and they felt cowards. But thankfully, by getting away, they were able to get in contact with the clergy on Earth, that we haven't heard of at this point, who have informed them of a way to, well, fight back against Satan. The only problem is that, well, the only way to hurt Satan is very specific to Bob. Also, in case you didn't get enough that we were going to be fighting Satan, there's a pentagram covered in blood. But yeah, by forcing us to read these audio logs, it does unlock some doors, and this is going to be our final text log. And it's just saying that the only way to hurt Satan is by possessing someone and then depossessing them, which will emit a projectile. Well, that sounds super simple. But yeah, somehow by reading that, we've now diverted blood to this very large pentagram door here. You can actually see some of the blood spraying out of the pipes there. That's a nice little effect. And you can see the pipes on the sides of the door gradually filling up with blood. Just nice little details like that that, you know, you may not be able to see because you want the game to be over. But now it's time to head into the final area of the moon. And I will say, I actually do like the overall look of this arena. I mean, it's nice to see the Earth there in the distance, and the crater filled with lava somehow. And apparently that's a huge machine pumping blood directly to Satan. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go confront him and be as threatening as a little baby in a diaper can be.
Before you die, I'm going to make you feel just absolutely
I suppose that might have been funny if I could have understood any of it, but yeah, this is the final boss fight, and it's a complete bitch. First off, we need to hop into a worker body.
from that valve, half-point.
Because the worker is the only one that can press this button for some reason. But Satan isn't out of tricks, as he has spawned two little demons that are able to do basically what Bob does, who can hop into bodies. And what they'll do is they'll hop into a cop body and proceed to start shooting at us. And this ring of fire is instant death. It's actually very hard to jump over, and if you get shot in mid-jump, you will fall into it and die. So, let's go ahead and do this correctly. So first off, I'm just going to go back and press some buttons. You can actually see one of the little demons there. Now, the demons can not only possess cops who will proceed to shoot you, but they'll also possess another worker who will go back around and start turning back on buttons you have turned off. And I can only describe how annoying that was to figure out, because honestly it doesn't seem that obvious initially. But this is actually just the first phase of the fight. But it literally took me like 30 minutes to figure out.
Blood. I'm all out of blood!
I'm a good
But now it's time for the final phase of the fight. Satan no longer has blood or a barrier, and we seem to be pretty much fucked right now. This part of the fight can be very annoying as well. This entire fight is complete bullshit, honestly. What we want to do first is get rid of the two demons, as, well, we can actually finally get rid of them fully now, because before they would just keep on hopping into new bodies. And as you can see, Satan now does have a life bar in the upper left-hand corner. And as what was stated before, we need to depossess bodies while vaguely pointed in his direction. The problem is there's no real way to aim, so you kind of have to guess where the hell this projectile is going to go, and basically use these little blue teleports here to get around, because he is actually a lot quicker than you are. And pretty much if he gets a hold of you, well, he'll grab you and pretty much throw you down for like 15 damage. While it doesn't seem like much, he will keep doing it. He will pretty much stun lock you to death. And that's pretty much the entire fight itself. I mean, he'll kind of get winded sometimes, but he'll just keep running after you, and you just kind of have to keep doing this. But it'd be nice if you didn't have to do this 8 or 9 times, but he's almost dead. This should be the final one. Die, you horned bastard.
Dad! I'm done now. I'm ready to go home. Hello? Hello? Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! It's not right.
And that is the end of Messiah. I do apologize. Well, I don't really apologize, because it was like 20 seconds of really nothing. But yeah, for some reason, the ending and the credits, as you can tell, kind of bugged out, and well, that's the end of Messiah. Nothing really got solved. Earth is still completely fucked. Bob is probably stuck on the moon forever, and so many theological questions got answered, I guess. But it was an interesting little slice of the past that I don't know, it kind of shows why, while Shiny had some very interesting ideas, they just really couldn't translate them well to gameplay, and I don't really miss them so much. But hopefully you'll join me next time for whatever interesting piece of video game history I might decide to play, or I might decide to play something good finally. Who knows, but join me next time for the next LP. It's Negro saying bye.